Thought I'd show some of the features of this particular hammock. This one is made by Warbonnet Outdoors, and it's called a Blackbird Hammock. It's a, I would call it a 3-season hammock. You can see that it's got a built-in bug net, and also you can see it's going straight across the top there. It has a built-in ridge line. This particular one, they come with different options for suspension. I ordered this one with the cinch buckles and straps. The straps are quite long. There's part of it laying there on the floor. And so what you would do is this end up here has a loop in it, so you would loop this around the tree and then run this through the cinch buckles. And because there's two of them here, they lock up against each other, and you can adjust your hang quite easily with the cinch buckles. And what I did was I just took some red paint and painted the cinch buckles here with a splash of red, so I know this is the head end of the hammock. Okay, now here's the bug. This is the bug net. The bug net has a tie out on each side. There's one on this side. I used some shock cord to tie it out. And there's a similar one over here on this side that I've also got tied out with shock cord. They also come with a stuff sack. This one is open at both ends, so I just leave it hang on there. And then on this side there's a shelf. This part here is actually a shelf, and you can from inside the hammock you can shove stuff down in here, and it just hangs down here, and it's held in between the fabric on the bottom and the bug netting on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate getting in and out of this hammock, and then I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to show you what it looks like for setup for winter with a windsock, because Warbonnet makes a windsock for this hammock. Okay, so to get into this hammock, this hammock is a side entry hammock. It's got a zipper right here, so you just unzip. You want to unzip it far enough that you're not in danger of stressing the zipper when you get in. Make sure you got the hammock spread apart some. Kick off your boots, or in my case my house slippers. Okay, and in you go. Once you get into the hammock, I usually grab a hold of the ridge line up here and get myself over on a diagonal. Now this hammock has quite a bit of, over here, on this side of the hammock, there's quite a bit of extra fabric, which is actually a foot box where you can put your feet and get on this diagonal and have a very comfortable laying position. The ridge line up here does a couple of things. It keeps the hammock from stretching out too flat, so you get a consistent hang, and it also provides a way to keep the bug net off your face. And then these side tie-outs, you can use them or not use them. In the summertime I will use them. In the wintertime, I'll show you the winter configuration here in a second. But in the winter, the way the windsock is made, there's no provision on the windsock for those tie-outs to go through it, so you don't use the tie-outs. Then to get out, you just unzip it like this. Sit up, put your boots on, and out you come. So the previous part of the video I showed you is good for 3-season hanging. For wintertime, I like to have a windsock or some sort of top cover on the hammock. So I'm going to show you that now. So for winter configuration, the first thing you do is you hang your hammock, but these will not be connected. The tie-outs on both sides I've disconnected. And the next thing, you don't really need the bug netting at all. So now the bug netting does not come off this hammock. So what you do is you zip the zippers all the way up. Take this part and flip it over on the other side like that. And then there are two ribbons, black ribbons, that you can use to tie this stuff over on this side, so it's basically out of your way. Okay, so that's your basic winter configuration right there. No bug net. You use the ribbons to tie it out of your way. There's a ridgeline organizer that I made for myself, and this is your winter configuration right here. Now, you'll need to have some sort of insulation under here. I use a down underquilt. Okay, I didn't bother to hang that on here. But you would have your hammock hung like this with probably a down underquilt or some sort of underquilt. And then once you've got it set up like this, then you're ready to hang the windsock. Now, I'm not going to show the process of hanging it. I'm just going to show you what it looks like once it's on. Okay, here's what it looks like with the windsock put on. There's this much on each end that is Velcro. So you open up the Velcro, and you have to disconnect your suspension and open up this part, and with it zipped down, and run your line through there. Each end also has a metal ring, which I'm not using right now, but you could use it with some extra line to stretch this out just a little bit more. Now, the way this is hanging here is really hanging there's too much at the bottom. It's touching the ground. I'm going to rehang this with my down underquilt eventually, and if there's still too much here at the bottom, then I may actually take my sewing machine and sew it a little bit shorter, because you do not want that touching the ground. So anyway, to get into it, you unzip this like this. Now, I'm not real good at zipping this up yet. I never actually used this in the field before. I find this a little bit tricky getting this zipped up. Got to kind of get started down here. And then you crawl in, and then go ahead and zip this part up, and then finish this right here. Just like that. Once you're in, then you get yourself laying on a diagonal, and you're in. And so you've got the ridge line up here, holding the windsock up. Now, because I'm not using the side pullouts, this part of it is laying a lot closer to my face than the bug netting does when it's tied out. But it's not touching my face, so it's okay. And the advantage of these windsocks is it closes off the environment in here, and the temperature actually goes up a fair amount. I'd say at least 10 degrees. But the main thing that it does is it keeps the wind off your body. The wind is what really saps the heat out of your body, and so these wind socks do a great job of that. So I think I'm going to like this windsock for this particular hammock. I also tried it with my E&O double nest, and it fits that one as well.